Number 50 is a line reference question. So if you're running out of time, this is one you might be able to do because it's a very small line reference. There's not a lot of reading involved. And the choices are pretty small too. So it's not going to be a huge time consumer. It's one where you could probably add on 10 points. And if we use dumb summaries, it becomes really easy. So we should do the +1 sentence thing. Even though they're asking about the last sentence, let's read the sentence before. I don't think it helps that much here. Adding another could make efficiencies as high as 50% feasible, which would cut in half the number of solar panels needed for a given installation. Great. In the actual sentence, though, the challenge is to produce good connections between these semiconductors, something made challenging by the arrangement of silicon atoms in crystalline silicon. Well, whenever the SAT repeats ideas, it's their way of like screaming the answer to you. The challenge is made challenging. So this is somehow about a challenge, right? So my dumb summary is that this sentence is talking about a challenge because they repeated that idea. That is really good evidence that that is the purpose here. So let's look at these answer choices. Express concern about the limitations of a material. Well, limitations might match. Concern is a little strong, though. That feels to me like, okay, they're worried about it. And while this is kind of negative, I don't really get the feeling that they're really like actually worried about it. So concern is a little too strong for me here, but I might leave that. Choice B, identify a hurdle that must be overcome. What's another word for hurdle? Challenge. This is like a dead-on accurate kind of choice here. It matches perfectly with my dumb summary. We should always read C and D, but B looks really good. C, make a prediction about the effective use of certain devices. No, there's no prediction here. They're not predicting anything. And D, introduce a potential new area of study. Well, no, they're still talking about the same area that they've been talking about. They're just saying that there's something to think about in that area of study. So this is not new. This is just a continuation of what they've been talking about. So C and D are really bad. And if we're between A and B, B is just stronger. I mean, it matches better with the word challenge. It doesn't get into this idea of worry. Plus, it's not really a limitation. It's just that there's a problem they have to solve. They're not saying it's limits. It's something that they might be able to overcome. So notice challenge also has this idea of like a positive ending, that we could overcome that hurdle. A is kind of all negative, and I don't get that vibe from this sentence. And honestly, this is enough to be very confident. If they repeat that word like that, it's a good sign that your dumb summary is going to be correct.